Chicago. Friday night. The kind of night when the city glows like it's trying to hide its sins under neon lights. Evelyn Carter ran through the rain, her white sneakers splashing through puddles. Her scrubs were soaked, her hair sticking to her cheeks. She didn't even know which street she was on anymore, she just knew someone was behind her. She could still hear it, the gunshot at the hospital. The sound that changed everything. Her hands shook as she held her phone, no signal. Of course. The storm had killed the network. Then she saw it, a tall glass building at the corner, gold lights on the top floor, the logo Moretti Holdings. She didn't know who that was, but it looked like somewhere people didn't get shot. She ran to the door and pressed the buzzer. Nothing. She hit it again. Please, someone, open the door! A voice came from the speaker, smooth, low, irritated. You know what time it is? I need help, she stammered. Please, someone's after me. There was silence. Then, top floor. Elevators open. The door buzzed. When the elevator doors slid open on the top floor, Evelyn froze. The place looked like something out of a billionaire's dream, black marble floors, floor-to-ceiling windows showing the city skyline, expensive whiskey bottles, monitors showing security feeds. And there he was. Vincent Moretti. Not in an old trench coat or a fedora. No, this man wore a fitted black suit, sleeves rolled up, tattoos peeking out, smartwatch on his wrist. Dangerous, calm, too handsome for her nerves to handle. He didn't look surprised to see her. Just curious. You don't look like my usual kind of visitor, he said, leaning back in his chair. She caught her breath. Someone's trying to kill me. He raised an eyebrow. You sure it's not just Tinder gone wrong? She blinked. Excuse me? He smirked. Relax. Sit down. Tell me what's going on before you pass out on my floor. I just got it cleaned. Evelyn sat, trying to catch her breath. I'm a nurse at St. John's Hospital. I was working the night shift when a man came in, gunshot wound. He was still alive when he said something about a delivery at Pier 47. Then these two guys came looking for him. They shot him. I hid, but they saw me leave. I've been running since. Vincent's expression didn't change, but his eyes sharpened. Pier 47, huh? Do you know something about it? He ignored the question, turning toward the security monitors. You were smart coming here. Not many people find this place unless I want them to. Yeah, she muttered. Lucky me. He gave her a look, part amusement, part warning. You've got attitude for someone being hunted. Sorry, she said quickly. It's just. He held up a hand. Don't apologize. It's good. Keeps you alive. A knock at the door. Vincent's bodyguard, a tall man named Luca, entered. Boss, car's ready. You still heading to the docks? Vincent's eyes stayed on Evelyn. Change of plans. Get someone to check the hospital cameras, see who was after her. I want names by morning. Luca frowned. She's not. Vincent cut him off. She's staying here tonight. Guest room. Nobody touches her. Evelyn blinked. Wait, what? I can't stay here. Vincent stood, towering over her. You can leave if you want. But step outside, and whoever shot that guy will finish the job on you. She hesitated. He was right. And that annoyed her. Fine, she said. But just for one night. He gave a half smile. That's what they all say. Later, Evelyn wandered around the penthouse, trying to calm down. Everything was spotless, minimalist, cold, but weirdly safe. Vincent was in his office, talking quietly on the phone. She couldn't help overhearing. Yeah, I know about Pier 47. Tell Marcus to move the shipment. No traces left by morning. He turned and saw her in the doorway. She froze. You shouldn't eavesdrop, he said. I wasn't, I just. He smiled slightly. You're a terrible liar. She crossed her arms. And you sound like you're hiding something. Maybe I am, he said simply. That's why people like me live long. Her heartbeat quickened, not from fear this time, but from how calm he sounded. Like nothing could touch him. Are you a cop? She asked. He laughed. Do I look like a cop? Definitely not. Good. Then stop asking questions that could get you killed. Hours later, she lay on the couch, unable to sleep. She could hear him moving in the next room, pacing, typing, the faint sound of a gun being loaded. She whispered into the dark. What the hell did I walk into? At 3 a.m., she woke up to a sound, someone at the door. Before she could move, Vincent was already there, gun in hand, voice cold. You lost, pal? A man's voice came from the other side. We're looking for a woman. Blonde, nurse uniform. You seen her? Vincent opened the door just enough for his silhouette to show. No nurses here. Just bad timing. The man hesitated, then left. Vincent locked the door, turned toward her. Told you they'd come. She looked at him, wide-eyed. Who are you? He slid the gun back into his holster. Someone who just saved your life. Again. Why? He looked at her for a long moment. Because I don't like seeing good people get killed. And because you just became my problem. She tried to smile. You make it sound like a compliment. Don't get used to it, he said, walking past her. I'm not a nice guy. But when she caught his reflection in the glass, she saw something he didn't mean to show, a flicker of softness. Just for a second. When she finally fell asleep, Vincent was still watching the city from his window, whiskey in hand, thinking. She wasn't part of his world. She didn't belong anywhere near it. And yet he couldn't shake the thought. The way she looked at him, the way she refused to break. For a man who trusted no one, that was dangerous. End of part 1. The wrong door. Next part 2, the deal. Evelyn learns the truth about Vincent's world. The people chasing her are closer than she thinks. And Vincent discovers she's not just another problem, she's the one he can't walk away from. Morning came too fast. Evelyn woke up on the leather couch, sunlight flooding the glass walls. For a moment, she didn't remember where she was, then she saw the city skyline, the cameras on the walls, and the espresso machine that probably cost more than her car. Right. She was in a mob boss's penthouse. Fantastic. She stretched, her back aching, and found Vincent already awake. Of course he was, dressed in a crisp shirt, sleeves rolled up, phone to his ear. His voice was low, controlled. If it's not done by noon, I'll do it myself. You know what that means. He hung up and finally looked at her. You sleep like a cop. Evelyn blinked. What does that even mean? You kept one eye open all night. She sighed. Maybe because I'm in a stranger's penthouse who carries guns and gives orders like a Bond villain. Vincent smirked. Bond wishes he had my wardrobe. She rolled her eyes, trying not to smile. Do you ever take anything seriously? Only things worth it, he said, walking past her to pour coffee. You want some? Please, she said quietly. He handed her a cup. Their fingers brushed, just for a second, and her stomach flipped. She hated that. They sat across from each other at the kitchen island. For a while either spoke. Only the sound of rain outside. Finally, she broke the silence. So what now? I can't stay here forever. You can until we find who's after you. And then? Then you disappear. She frowned. That's your plan? He shrugged. That's the smart plan. She put the cup down. I can't just run away. A man was murdered in front of me. Vincent looked at her, calm, unreadable. You're not a cop, Evelyn. You don't fight people like that. You survive them. His tone annoyed her, like he was explaining gravity. And you do? He smiled faintly. Every day. Luca entered, holding a tablet. Boss, you'll want to see this. Vincent swiped through the footage, hospital security cameras. Evelyn's heart jumped. The video showed two masked men leaving the ER, one checking his gun, the other on the phone. Then, a black SUV waiting outside. Vincent paused a frame. I know that car. Evelyn leaned closer. Who is it? He didn't answer right away. They're not random, he finally said. They work for Rico Santoro. She blinked. Who's that? Vincent gave her a dry look. Let's just say he's not a fan of mine. And if he's cleaning up hospital messes, then he's hiding something big. So you think I saw something connected to him? Yeah, Vincent said. And that makes you leverage. Leverage? You make me sound like a briefcase. Don't take it personal, he said. In this city, everyone's leverage. The day went by in tension. Evelyn tried to help, cleaning up, making coffee, pacing, but she couldn't ignore how surreal it all was. She kept glancing at Vincent, how effortlessly he moved, how every call, every order was sharp and deliberate. There was no chaos around him, just control. At one point, she caught him watching her. Their eyes met. Neither looked away. You know, she said, breaking the silence. For someone who claims not to care, you're doing a lot to keep me alive. He smirked. Maybe I like a challenge. Or maybe you just don't trust anyone else to handle it. That made him chuckle. You're not wrong. That evening, she stood on the balcony, staring at the city below, the cars, the noise, the smell of rain on steel. Vincent joined her, hands in pockets. Beautiful, isn't it? He said. The view? The illusion of safety, he said. Everyone down there thinks they're in control. Truth is, nobody is. She glanced at him. You included? He smiled. Especially me. Something about his honesty surprised her. It wasn't rehearsed, it was real. Why do you do it? She asked. The whole Mafia thing. He turned to her, amused. You make it sound like a hobby. I'm serious. He hesitated, then said quietly, because this city eats people alive. I just learned to eat first. She looked at him, not the boss now, but a man who'd built walls too high to ever climb down from. I don't believe you, she said softly. He tilted his head. No? You help people. You helped me. That's not just survival. Vincent smiled faintly. Careful, Evelyn. You're making me sound human. She smiled back. Maybe you are. For a moment neither spoke. The air between them shifted, quiet, electric. Suddenly his phone buzzed. The spell broke. He answered. Talk. Pause. What? How close? He hung up, jaw tight. Get your bag, he said. Now. Evelyn's heart jumped. What happened? They found you. Her blood went cold. Here? He grabbed a gun from the drawer. They're on their way up. She froze. Oh my God! He stepped closer, his tone calm but firm. Look at me. She did. You'll stay behind me. Do not run. Do not scream. You move when I move, got it? She nodded. Good girl, he said, and for some reason that made her chest tighten. The elevator dinged. Footsteps echoed in the hall. Vincent's men were ready, Luca with his pistol, another guard at the door. Then the knock came. 3 short taps. Vincent gave a tiny nod. The door opened an inch, and a man's voice came through. Delivery from Moretti. In an instant Vincent knew. He fired once. The man fell before finishing the word. Chaos erupted, shouting, shots, glass breaking. Evelyn dropped behind the counter, covering her ears. Vincent moved like a shadow, calm, efficient, terrifying. Every motion calculated. And then silence. When she dared to look up, it was over. 3 men down. Vincent reloading his gun. She stared, speechless. You killed them! He looked at her, eyes dark but steady. No, they killed themselves when they walked in here. Her hands shook. This is insane. He stepped closer, his voice softening. Welcome to my world, Evelyn. Now you see why people like me don't sleep much. She looked at him, really looked. And instead of fear, she felt something else. Something far more dangerous. Hours later, the mess was gone. Vincent's crew cleaned everything like it never happened. He stood by the window, phone in hand. Evelyn came up behind him. "You're bleeding," she said quietly. He glanced down, a small cut on his arm. "Didn't even notice." She grabbed the first aid kit, rolling her eyes. "You really are impossible." As she cleaned the wound, he studied her face, the focus, the care. "You do this every day?" he asked. "Yeah," she said softly. "Just not for people like you." He smiled. "People like me? People who could buy the hospital I work in." Vincent chuckled. "If it makes you feel better, I don't buy hospitals. Too many cameras." She laughed, a real laugh, the first since last night. "See?" he said. "You laugh. That means you're still alive." "Barely," she murmured, but she was smiling. When she finished bandaging his arm, their eyes met again. Closer this time. Neither moved away. "Thank you," he said quietly. "For what?" "For trusting me. Even when you shouldn't." She swallowed. "Maybe I just have bad judgment." He smiled. "Maybe you just see something worth saving." 2 days had passed since the shootout. Evelyn still couldn't believe she was alive, or that she was living in the penthouse of a man everyone in Chicago whispered about but no one dared to cross. Vincent Moretti. The name that opened doors, and got others slammed shut. She told herself she was staying only until it was safe. But every time she saw him, calm, sharp, unreadable, she wasn't sure she wanted to leave anymore. That morning, she found him in the kitchen, typing on his laptop, shirt half-buttoned, sleeves rolled up. He looked like someone from a fashion campaign called Danger and Espresso. "Morning," he said without looking up. "You sleep?" "Define sleep," she muttered, grabbing coffee. He smirked. "Dreams of bullets again? Dreams of mob bosses with no boundaries?" He raised an eyebrow. "You say that like it's a bad thing." "It usually is," she said, sipping. "But somehow, you make it confusing." He finally looked at her, really looked. "Good. Confusion keeps people guessing." She rolled her eyes, but her heart didn't listen. Luca entered, breaking the moment. "Boss, we got movement. Santoro's crew hit one of our trucks near the river. 2 guys down." Vincent's jaw tensed. "Any survivors?" "One. Says Rico's looking for a nurse. Wants her alive." Evelyn froze. "He's still after me?" Vincent nodded slowly. "He doesn't like loose ends." She tried to steady her breath. "Then let's give him what he wants." Both men looked at her. Vincent frowned. "That's not funny." "I'm serious," she said. "Use me as bait. Catch him before he catches us." Vincent stood, voice low but dangerous. "You're not bait. You're a witness. I'm not putting you out there." She stepped closer. "You can't protect me forever." He stared at her, irritation, concern, and something else mixing in his eyes. "You think you can handle my world?" he said softly. "You couldn't even handle the elevator last time you panicked." That hit a nerve. "I panicked because someone got shot." Vincent sighed, rubbing his temples. "Jesus, you're stubborn. You like that?" She shot back. He paused, a tiny, guilty smile. "Yeah, that's the problem." Later that afternoon, Vincent called his tech guy Marcus, a hacker who looked like he lived on caffeine and bad decisions. They sat around the big table, screens glowing with security feeds. Marcus grinned at Evelyn. "So you're the famous nurse causing all this trouble?" She blinked. "Famous? Great." Vincent cut in, "All business. Find out how Rico's tracking her. Phones, cameras, anything." Marcus typed fast. "Give me a sec, yeah, here. Hospital records show an anonymous access to patient files right after the shooting. Someone pulled her employee ID, address, even social media." Evelyn swallowed. "So he knows everything." Vincent leaned back. Not everything. He doesn't know where you are. That's something. Marcus hesitated. About that, boss. Vincent's tone dropped. Marcus. Okay. He tried to ping your network an hour ago. Failed, but that means he's close. Like, really close. Vincent stood instantly. Luca, double perimeter. Now. Luca grabbed his gun. On it. Evelyn looked at Vincent. What does that mean? He met her eyes. It means this place isn't safe anymore. They packed fast. Vincent threw essentials into a duffel bag: cash, passports, a gun. Evelyn grabbed her small bag, still shaking. Where are we going? She asked. Somewhere Rico can't find you. And you? He zipped the bag shut. He'll try. But I'm done running. Before she could argue, the lights flickered. Then darkness. Power's out, she whispered. Vincent's hand went straight to his weapon. Backup generator's been cut. He motioned for her to follow. Stay close. They moved through the silent hall, flashlights slicing through the dark. Evelyn's heart pounded. Every sound, every creak, felt like a warning. Suddenly, glass shattered. Gunfire. Vincent grabbed her, pulling her behind a marble column. Bullets tore through the air. Luca! Vincent shouted. 2 men on the balcony. Luca yelled back. They're inside. Vincent leaned out, fired twice. 1 man dropped. The other ducked behind cover. Evelyn's breath came fast. This is insane. Vincent glanced at her, calm even in chaos. Welcome to Tuesday. She gave him a look. You joke now? Helps me aim, he said, firing again. The fight lasted minutes that felt like hours. When it ended, smoke hung in the air and silence fell heavy. Vincent checked the bodies. Rico's men again. He's not stopping. Evelyn wiped blood from her arm, not hers. Then what now? He looked at her, eyes dark, intense. Now we go hunting. She frowned. You mean? Yeah, he said. We hit him first. Evelyn stared. You're insane. Maybe, he said. But I'm alive. She shook her head. I'm a nurse, Vincent. I fix people. Not shoot them. He stepped closer, lowering his voice. And I destroy the ones who hurt them. That's why we're a good team. Her breath caught. We're not a team. He smiled faintly. Could have fooled me. Later, they drove through the city, rain on the windshield, the skyline glowing behind them. Evelyn sat in silence, her mind racing. She finally spoke. You don't have to do this for me. Vincent kept his eyes on the road. I'm not doing it for you. Then why? He hesitated. Because someone once helped me when I didn't deserve it. This is me paying it forward. She looked at him. You really believe that? He glanced at her. I believe in debts. And you're the only one I don't want collecting interest. That made her chest tighten again. You're impossible. He smirked. You keep saying that like it's news. They stopped at a warehouse near the docks, one of Vincent's safe sites. Inside, the air smelled of oil and salt water. Luca and Marcus were already setting up equipment. Marcus pointed to a map on the screen. Rico's base is here. Pier 47. If he's expecting the nurse, he's setting a trap. Vincent nodded. Good. We'll give him one back. Evelyn crossed her arms. This feels like suicide. Vincent stepped closer, eyes locked on hers. You trust me? She hesitated. That's a complicated question. Try a simple answer. After a moment, she said quietly. Yes. He smiled. Then stay close tomorrow. She frowned. Tomorrow? Yeah, he said. We finish this. That night, she couldn't sleep again. She found him outside, standing by the river, cigarette glowing in the dark. You ever get tired of all this? She asked. He didn't turn. Every day. Then why not stop? He blew out smoke. Because if I stop, people die. Worse people win. You think I like being the villain? I just play the part better. She stood beside him. You don't have to keep playing. He looked at her, eyes softer now. You really think there's a version of me that walks away? I think there could be. They stood in silence, the wind cold but the space between them warm. Finally, he said quietly, if we make it out of tomorrow alive, I'll think about it. Evelyn smiled sadly. That's the first honest maybe I've heard from you. He smirked. Don't get used to it. But as he walked back toward the warehouse, something in his expression changed, not fear, but realization. Someone had just played him. His phone buzzed, a message. Nice move, Moretti. But she's already ours. His blood ran cold. He turned. The warehouse door was open. Evelyn! He shouted, running inside. Empty. The nurse was gone. When Vincent realized Evelyn was gone, the world stopped for a heartbeat. Then everything inside him turned to ice. He slammed his fist into the table. How the hell did this happen? Marcus flinched. Boss, one of the vans left 10 minutes ago. We thought it was Luca's team. Vincent's voice dropped to a deadly calm. You thought? He grabbed his gun, checked the clip. Find out where that van's headed. Now. Luca ran in, out of breath. We got eyes on them. They're heading toward the docks, Pier 47. Of course. Rico's trap. The same place where it all started. Vincent looked at the screen. Traffic cameras showing the black van speeding through the rain. He didn't even hesitate. Gear up. We're going. Meanwhile, Evelyn woke up in the van, wrists tied, head pounding. Voices echoed, men laughing, the smell of cigarettes and gasoline. She tried to stay calm. You really think kidnapping a nurse will fix your problems? One of them turned, grinning. Rico just wants to talk. Yeah? You usually bring guns to conversations? He smirked. Only when they talk back. She rolled her eyes. Great. Comedy night with criminals. The man leaned closer. You've got a mouth on you. Better than your haircut. She shot back. The others laughed, but the man didn't. He raised his hand. The van suddenly swerved. Tires screamed. The driver cursed. What the? A black SUV cut them off, headlights blinding. And then came the gunfire. The van spun out, crashing into a barrier. Evelyn screamed as metal twisted and glass shattered. When the smoke cleared, she heard heavy boots, someone pulling the door open. Vincent. He grabbed her arm, eyes burning with fury and relief all at once. You all right? She nodded shakily. Define all right. He cut her ties with a knife. You really like giving me heart attacks, don't you? Next time, text me before you rescue me, she said breathlessly. I like a warning. Next time, he said, pulling her close. Don't get kidnapped. Bullets hit the van. Rico's men were closing in fast. Vincent pushed her behind a concrete pillar. Stay down! Evelyn's voice trembled. You can't take them all. Vincent smirked, loading a fresh clip. Watch me. He moved like a storm, precise, fast, lethal. Evelyn had seen trauma before, chaos before, but nothing like this. He wasn't panicking. He was dancing with danger. One of Rico's men got too close. Vincent took him down with 2 shots, no hesitation. The others ran. Then, out of the shadows, a slow clap. Rico Santoro himself stepped forward, slick suit, scar on his cheek, smile like poison. Always the hero, huh, Moretti? Vincent's gun was steady. Funny, I was about to say the same. Rico chuckled. You take what's mine, hide my problems, and now you think you can play savior? She's not yours, Vincent said. Rico smirked. Then why risk everything for her? Vincent didn't answer. Evelyn looked between them, realizing they'd known each other once. Rico turned to her. You must be the nurse. Cute. You have no idea what kind of man you're standing next to. Vincent's tone darkened. Say one more word and I'll. Rico raised a hand. Oh, relax. You and I both know this isn't about her. It's about you finally losing control. Vincent's eyes flashed. Control's overrated. And then he fired. The world exploded in gunfire and chaos. Evelyn ducked as bullets sparked off metal. Rico ran behind cover, shouting orders. Vincent moved forward, fearless, each shot deliberate. He hit Rico's guard, then another. But one got lucky, a bullet grazed Vincent's side. He grunted, falling to one knee. Vincent! Evelyn screamed, crawling to him. He waved her off. Stay down. Shut up, she said, pressing her hands to his wound. You're bleeding. He looked at her, half in pain, half in disbelief. You're insane. So are you, she snapped. Stop moving. Her hands trembled, but she kept pressure on the wound. Rico's men were retreating, Vincent's reinforcements were closing in. When the shooting stopped, Evelyn realized she was crying. You could have died. Vincent smiled weakly. Would have ruined your night. She hit his shoulder gently. You idiot. He caught her hand, held it tight. Hey. She looked at him. His voice softened. You okay? Tears spilled down her cheeks. No. You. He smirked. Bleeding and sarcastic. So, yeah, fine. They made it back to a different safe house, smaller, darker, away from the city lights. Luca patched Vincent up, muttering under his breath. When Luca left, Evelyn sat next to Vincent, quiet for once. He glanced at her. You're shaking. She laughed nervously. Yeah, well, my night included a kidnapping and a gunfight. What's your excuse? He leaned back. Tuesday. She rolled her eyes, but then her voice softened. You could have left me, Vincent. He turned to her. That's not my style. Why? You barely know me. He hesitated. That's the problem. Their eyes met, no jokes, no smirks this time. Just two people who'd survived something that should have broken them. She whispered, You scare me. He smiled faintly. I scare everyone. No, she said. Not because of what you do. Because of what I feel when I'm near you. That stopped him cold. He reached out slowly, brushing her hair from her face. Then we've got the same problem, he said quietly. Their faces were inches apart. Her breath caught. His eyes flicked to her lips, then back to her eyes. And for a heartbeat, the whole world went silent. He didn't kiss her. He just whispered, Not yet. She swallowed. Why not? Because if I start, he said, I won't stop. Later, as the storm raged outside, Evelyn sat awake, watching him sleep on the couch. His shirt was half open, bandage on his side, still somehow looking like he owned the night. She whispered to herself, What the hell are you doing, Evelyn? But she already knew the answer. She'd fallen for a man she was supposed to run from. And deep down, he'd already fallen too. Meanwhile, in a dark office across town, Rico poured himself a drink, watching a news report about the Piers shootout. His assistant asked, You want me to pull back? Rico smiled coldly. No. Let him think he won. He picked up a photo from his desk, a blurry hospital security image. Evelyn. She's not just a nurse, he said quietly. She's the key. And Moretti doesn't even know what she's worth yet. He set the glass down, eyes gleaming. Next time, we don't take her alive. The rain hadn't stopped for 3 days. Chicago felt like it was holding its breath, waiting for something to break. Vincent stood by the window, staring out at the gray skyline. His wound had healed enough for him to move, but not enough for him to forget. Evelyn watched him quietly from across the room. He hadn't said much since the night at the docks. Not his usual sarcasm, not his teasing. Just silence. Dangerous, heavy silence. Finally, she said softly, You're thinking about him, aren't you? Rico. Vincent didn't turn. I'm thinking about endings. And how they never come clean. She took a step closer. You could just walk away. He gave a low laugh. You don't walk away from men like Rico. You bury them, or they bury you. Then let's bury him, she said. That made him turn. You! Evelyn lifted her chin. You said we're a team, remember? He looked at her for a long moment, the nurse who'd walked into his world and somehow made it brighter, even when everything else was burning. Then he said quietly, You really have no idea what you're doing. She smiled faintly. Neither do you. Later that night, Marcus tracked Rico's location, an abandoned theater downtown. Perfect. Symbolic. A stage for a final act. Vincent gathered his gear, gun, earpiece, gloves. Evelyn stopped him. Promise me one thing, she said. He looked up. What? That you'll come back. He didn't answer. She stepped closer. Vincent. He sighed. I don't make promises I can't keep. Then make this one, she whispered. He looked at her, and for the first time, his mask cracked. He touched her cheek gently, his thumb tracing her skin. I'll try, he said. For you. The theater was a ghost from another century, red velvet curtains, dust in the air, the faint smell of smoke and rain. Vincent moved like a shadow, silent, alert. Then Rico's voice echoed through the darkness. Took you long enough. Rico stood center stage, hands in his pockets, lights flickering overhead. Vincent raised his gun. You should have stayed gone. Rico smirked. And missed the show? You always did love drama. He gestured to the balcony. Evelyn stood there, hands tied, guarded by two men. Vincent's voice turned to steel. Let her go. Rico shook his head. She's leverage, Vinny. The only thing keeping you from pulling that trigger. Vincent's jaw tightened. You think you know me? I made you, Rico said. You were just a scared kid until I pulled you out of the gutter. You owe me. Vincent's eyes went cold. You're right. I do. He fired. One shot, clean, perfect. The light above Rico shattered, plunging the stage into half-darkness. The guards flinched. Evelyn moved, fast, kicking one in the knee, elbowing the other in the throat. She ducked, grabbed a fallen gun, and aimed. Vincent stared up at her, half impressed, half terrified. Guess you didn't need me after all, he shouted. She grinned breathlessly. Don't flatter yourself. The fight was brutal. Loud. Fast. Rico lunged for cover, shooting wildly. Vincent dodged, rolled, countered. When the smoke cleared, both were bloodied, standing 10 feet apart. Rico sneered. You think you're better than me? Vincent's voice was low. No. Just smarter. And then he fired again, the last bullet. Rico fell. The echo of the shot hung in the air like a closing curtain. Vincent dropped his gun, breathing hard. He looked up. Evelyn was running down the stairs, eyes wide with fear and relief. She reached him, grabbed his face in her hands. You're bleeding again. He gave a half smile. You really know how to kill a moment. She laughed through tears. You idiot. Then silence. Her hand still on his cheek. His eyes locked on hers. Everything they'd been through, the danger, the fear, the running, it all came crashing down in that one heartbeat. Vincent whispered, You saved my life. She shook her head. No. We saved each other. And before either of them could stop it, she kissed him. It wasn't soft or hesitant. It was desperate. Real. Like two people who'd almost lost everything and didn't want to waste another second. He pulled her closer, one hand on her back, the other tangled in her hair. The world around them disappeared, the rain, the gunpowder, the ghosts of everything they'd survived. When they finally broke apart, she laughed breathlessly. So that's what you meant by not yet. He smiled, that rare, genuine smile she'd only seen once before. Yeah, he said. Worth the wait. They left the theater as dawn broke over the city. No sirens. No gunfire. Just quiet. Vincent leaned against his car, lighting a cigarette he didn't really need. Evelyn took it from his lips, tossed it into a puddle. Bad habit, she said. He smirked. You planning to fix me, Doc? She smiled. One bad habit at a time. He looked at her, and for once, his eyes weren't sharp or guarded. Just alive. So what now? She asked. He shrugged. Maybe we disappear. New names. New city. No guns. She laughed. You could actually do that? He grinned. For you? I might. She looked at him for a long moment, then leaned in, soft this time, gentle, a kiss that wasn't about survival, but about promise. And when they'd pulled away, she said quietly, Then let's go home. Vincent nodded. Yeah. Let's. They drove off as the sun climbed higher, two broken souls who'd found something close to peace. Maybe it wouldn't last. Maybe the past would catch up again. But for now, for this one perfect morning, they were free. And in Vincent's world, that was the rarest victory of all.